Hello and welcome to a special edition of Tunnel Vision. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, publisher of USCFootball.com, joined in studio by Mr. Triple Double himself, Connor Morrissette, and we got a very special guest, USC defensive tackle, sophomore defensive tackle, all the way from Minnesota, Jide Abasiri, joining us
Yes,
thanks to
sir.
House of Victory. What's up, Jide? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are y'all?
Cannot complain. It's recording this on a Wednesday evening. We appreciate you taking the time. I know you just got back to campus and getting things rolling. With finals, everything okay? You have a good time? You're no problem with that?
Yeah, no problems. We
All right.
done with other classes.
Taking care of business. I love it. But like I mentioned, House of Victory has been setting up these interviews with current USC players. I can put there's a new QR code up on the screen. The new campaign is the place to be. Time to win. And I know, Jide, you've been doing, there was, I think, 3 different charity events you've done recently with House of Victory. I think starting off with the fire relief back in January.
Yeah. That one was smooth. They were all really just fun to get inside the communities and be able to help them out and just experience those different parts of life around the community. Just because I'm from Minnesota, it's a whole new world out here. So just seeing the different types of lives people live and how we can help out and make an impact is really amazing and inspiring.
And then one of the other ones, and I love this one. I know some of the players we've talked to previously. It's the Angel Cities Sports Youth Weekend, and I don't know. Did you get to take part in some of the wheelchair basketball? Because that looked pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah. Now, I didn't get to play basketball, but
Oh,
I
there's a
was doing
different one.
like
This is on the
track.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one was like a track type one where you race on the like wheelchair like bike things. They got like 3 wheels and then you like lean forward. And the one thing they told us not to do was lean backwards because you're gonna fall straight back and hit your head. So I had to make sure I was leaning forward. But it's a lot harder than it looks for sure.
And then the last one was the Dream Center lunch service that you were doing. I got some photos of that too. So that's a new one. I haven't heard of that one. What was going on with that?
Oh yeah, we was just helping out with the food prep for everyone for it was a church we were at, I believe. So yeah, we're just helping people out with the food and everything. I was preparing the fish and all the sausages and stuff, but I used to actually work at a pizza restaurant, so it was taking me back a little bit to when I was working in the kitchen.
That's really cool. Well, Jide, keep up the great work. It's great to see the football team connecting with the community. Speaking of football, though, off-season workouts started earlier this week, and you had the chance to meet new strength coach Tremaine Carroll. USC fans every day, they're asking us, what's this new strength coach like? What's this new strength coach like? So I know you've only had limited interactions, but can you fill in the USC football family on what Tremaine Carroll's all about and just your experiences with him so far?
He's really tough just with like the discipline and the intention to detail, like the standard he has. And, we've been working to get there every single day. We've been aiming to get 1% better. That's like his whole thing is just getting 1% better every day and just working towards like our goals and taking it day by day. And he don't play around. He's really disciplined in the way he coaches. Like no one mess up, or we start over. Like it's essentially like a perfectionist with the way we do things. He wants things to be done with a team mindset in mind, and just working to keep paying attention to details and getting 1% better.
You're talking about goals, and what were your sort of goals? This is your second year at USC. Just weight wise and strength wise, when you came in, obviously you're one of the stronger players on the team. But when you came in from Minnesota, did you have goals kind of last year, and then how have those changed this year going into the season? I don't know. Maybe it's changed new with the new strength staff, but what kind of your goals been?
So last year coming in, I was 265, and I thought I was coming in to play edge, but I eventually played D tackle. So they bulked me up to around 295, and my goal for the year was just to not redshirt and be able to play. I invested a lot into being able to come come to school early and enroll early and just get to work as soon as possible. So, that was kind of a gamble I took on myself, because I was like, if I do this, I gotta get some snaps in, and thankfully I was able to do that. So I accomplished my goal last year, and now it's just just for real, it's just a team mindset type of thing. Like last year, I feel like I was a little bit selfish in the way I want to for just like my personal goals. So like now, just as a team, just keeping that team thing in mind, and working to win the national championship.
That's interesting. You thought you were going to maybe play edge at first, and then the way the roster was constructed and just the way your body is, you're able to put on that weight and play in the middle. That's really cool. And, yeah, you did accomplish that goal. You were in a lot at the end of the year. One more strength staff question, Jide. So Coach Carroll is new, and there's also a couple new assistants, Kerry Thompson and Lonnie Maddox. Have you had a chance to interact with either of those guys, and what are they like?
And they all the same way. They all coach that same disciplined way. They're just like a little trio, bro. It's like always attention to detail. Don't mess up. We starting over. Just rapid. Like, then there's no mercy, man. There's no mercy.
We always kind of talk about the journey of how you got to USC, coming, out from Minnesota, like I had mentioned earlier. What was the recruiting process kind of like for you, and then your decision to end up choosing to become a Trojan?
Yeah, so obviously I was committed to Minnesota, and while things were like super great over there, it's just I just saw more of an opportunity here to play at a different level, and I knew it was gonna be hard. I knew it was gonna be tough, but that was ultimately the decision I made. Going to the becoming a recruit, I didn't really have too much in mind. Like I was going into it blind, because I never watched college football, like at all, until I started getting recruited. So I didn't really know too much about the schools. I didn't know too much about the recruiting process. So me and my parents were just like, visiting some schools, not visiting others. Like I know a lot of recruits like to take like a bunch of visits to other places, but there's a lot of places that we just didn't end up going just because they were too far. And I didn't really think about SEC or Big Ten or Pac-12. Like I really just wanted to play at the next level. But eventually I started getting Big 12, Big 10 offers, from schools in the area like Minnesota and all them. So I committed to Minnesota, and then eventually I was committed to them for about 8 months. I felt like super comfortable there. But fast forward to my senior season, I started balling out a little bit more and got a little bit more attention from USC. So it was kind of a cool thing to see. And I was actually planning on canceling my OV to USC, just because I thought it's not really a big deal about like going to a new place. Like I was cool in Minnesota, I was cool with the university, but my parents just wanted me to like explore all my options, and I took an OV and ended up committing there. So it all works out.
But you weren't a college football fan? Like you didn't watch a lot or know a lot of the traditions and stuff? It's just something you're like, hey, I'm good at the sport, but I'm not. You haven't really followed it all that much.
Yeah, so here's my thing. Like I don't like watching stuff that I want to do.
Okay.
So like growing up, I always wanted to play football, but my parents never let me because they thought it was too dangerous. So I never watched football because I would always get jealous, because I'm like, I want to do the same thing. So never watched football.
Wow.
So just fast forward to my freshman year, I started playing. I still didn't watch it because like they were still playing at a level that I wanted to play at. So like I didn't even really watch it for real until I started becoming a recruit.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's dangerous for the guys you're playing against, I would think. Like, look how big, like there's no way. Like, you'd be safe. Like,
that's
he's
what
big
I
enough.
thought too, but it all worked out. So
Yeah.
nothing to complain about.
So growing up, did you watch basketball, or what were some of your hobbies? Because I understand the jealousy angle, but that makes me think maybe you were into other stuff too, whether it was basketball or maybe other hobbies, or was it truly just you love football the whole time, but you just didn't want to be jealous?
Yeah. So growing up, actually, I come from a Nigerian household, and they're really big on education and all that stuff. So I play a lot of instruments. I played the trombone and I played the piano. I did like swimming lessons and stuff like that. I was mainly at home though. I was a gamer low key, just chilling on the game. And like growing up we had lessons, just piano lessons and trombone lessons. So I was in band and we'd have those lessons like every Saturday and like yeah, just every Saturday, and then we would practice them like day and night. Like that's just what our dad was on. He was on like that perfection type of timing as well. Like with similar to Coach Carroll, like he was disciplined in that way. So with education and piano and the trombone, he wanted us to practice in front of him, like perform the songs if we didn't play them perfect, like do them over again. Same with our education, like he would print out assignments actually during the summertime. So we didn't really go outside that much. We were inside doing homework that our dad printed out. So we was doing these day and night every day. And eventually it worked out for my brothers, but it ain't really work out for me. So, I'm playing football. So, in some ways it did, some ways it didn't. But yeah, that was life growing up.
That's interesting. Did you play the NCAA football game? Like, do you play? I mean, the college football game, not NCAA, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't be playing it too much because I be getting mad when I lose. Like, especially to my teammates, I be getting really mad because I just can't play the game. I can't play that.
You're not really, yeah. The new one will be interesting to see the new one coming out. What's your major? Because it sounds like you have a lot of different options and playing instruments and all that stuff. Did you think about your major a lot, and what are you majoring in?
I originally wanted to do software engineering, but then you can't really do engineering and playing football. It's kind of like you have a social life outside, but if you're doing engineering, you don't. So it's just football, school. I'm not really trying to do that. So then I thought about computer science, and it's the same damn thing. So like, I had to switch, and I ended up switching to cognitive science. So we're settling with that.
Cool. That's awesome. So Jide, just looking at that defensive line room, let's forget about the edge rushers for a second. Just in the middle there, it's Jamal Jarrett, Devin Tompkins, Keyshawn Silver, Floyd Boucard, Carlin Jones, Kobe Pepe. There's a lot of competition in that room. Last year you played a little bit, taking in a couple transfers like USC did. The competition has increased. What's that been like in the spring? What's that like in the summer workouts? How are you guys pushing each other, and what's your plan to get on the field this fall?
Honestly, like, we're not even like worried about starting positions. We're just trying to elevate the next guy to be their best, because you only as good as your weakest link. So we just gotta keep working to keep elevating everybody from a playbook standpoint. Just keep working to improve our skills, improve our mindsets.
Do you have any? Did you have any goals for the spring? And then what are you trying to do getting ready for fall camp coming up?
My goals in spring were really just to improve 1% better every day. Just keep working and keep working.
And then anything for fall camp? You trying to same sort of thing?
Yeah, basically just keep working to get 1% better every day. I'm trying to bring as many guys with me to the top.
Jide, how important is it for you to play in a defensive scheme like D'Anton Lynn's, where versatility is so valuable? You explain how you came in, maybe at first you were going to be a defensive end, but the team needed you in the middle. You did line up on the end a couple times. I could see you doing that again this upcoming season. I know versatility is important to D'Anton Lynn. How important is that to you, and how important is that to be in this system?
Yeah, so the thing about the system is, like, I get to play end and D tackle. So it's fun because I get to play a 3-tech, 5-tech, 2-tech, all that stuff. So, I get to play a little bit of edge rusher, so I'm not upset about them switching me to D tackle. But, I think once I improve on, my mobility and stuff, they might let me drop a little bit more from edge, but that's just a hope, that'd be pretty fun.
We kind of ask any defensive player, even anyone on the team, just the addition of Rob Ryan to that coaching staff. You get to, be on the same side of the ball with him. Any good Rob Ryan stories so far? It seems like everyone has some funny moments with the new linebacker coach.
Yeah. no, he funny. He funny. He just he got a story for like everything. Every time when he gets up to talk, you gonna have a good laugh. Uh, the one story I remember in particular when he first got here, he was talking about Jaden Maava's uncle, and I like he hated him at first, but
Kaluka Maava,
he,
yeah.
he
I covered him when he was
he
at
grew to
USC
love the
back in the
guy.
day.
Yeah. He grew to love the guy, and he was like, he told him, if you ever need anything in Hawaii, call me. Tell him I forgot his name, but tell him you know him.
I think he
And
called him
he
like
gets
Kaluk or something. I forget what it is. Like
yeah,
Kaluk.
Kaluk's.
Yeah, Kaluk. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's talking about he's in Hawaii, and I don't know, he can't rent a car or something, or his car gets stolen, something along those lines. Like he has no vehicle, so he calls him up, and then he just hooks him up with a little whip, something along those lines. So that was just a little funny story. So
That's amazing. We hear so much about college players obviously wanting to make the NFL. This staff at USC, there's just so much NFL experience with D'Anton Lynn, Eric Henderson, Rob Ryan. Eric Henderson, your position coach, really made his bones in the NFL. How significant is that for you, Jide?
it's really been like a noticeable factor in the way he coaches, especially when he first got here. He just they all demand things a specific way and want things done in a specific way. How you strike the tackle, the specific techniques you play when you're playing nose or three tech. I've been talking to some of my other teammates from not other teammates, some of my other friends from other colleges and universities, and they be talking about how sometimes their coaches don't be super specific on that stuff. So that just goes to like show that they really stand out in that certain aspect.
We had some questions. I don't know if you have anything else, Carter. We could go to some Peristyle questions. You want to do another one?
Sure,
or?
just one other one before we
sure.
get to some of the guest questions. You mentioned about taking that official visit to USC, and that sealed the deal for you, Jide. A kid from Minnesota, committed to Minnesota for so long. What about that visit in USC made you want to sign with the Trojans?
It was really just the connections too that USC had with the network and all that stuff, and how it sets you up for way more than just football, like beyond football. Like regardless if football works out or not, if you're from USC, you're gonna be okay. So that was really a big selling point with me and my parents. The education and the football history too. Like not everyone gets to play for such a historic school, so it was really a blessing when they offered me, and just being out here was just life changing.
We have, like I mentioned, over on the Peristyle, our message board at uscfootball.com, we posted, hey, we're going to be chatting with Jide Abasiri. We got a whole bunch of people. One of the bigger threads, I think, Connor, we've had.
Yeah, people really want to talk to you, Jide.
Yeah, there's some questions. So do you mind answering some questions from the fans?
Let's do it.
All right. SC for Life, 1420 said, so there'll be some weird handles, so my apologies. But what has the coaching staff told you about your role on the defense this year, and how will the rotation work with you along the lines? Have they talked about your role or anything? Or?
That's really a question for Coach Riley.
Yeah. Well, did they talk about your role at all, at least?
I fit into more of a leader role this year, just being able to be one of the young guys that gets their feet wet with the first year experience. You can kind of develop into one of those vet guys a little bit faster, and I think I'm definitely getting to that leadership role they want me at.
SO_California wants to know, who mentored you last season, Jide, and who are you closest to on this year's team?
A lot of my big mentors were other teammates, actually, because at first, like when Coach Henny came in, like he wasn't the original coach that recruited me, so it was a little different. It took me a little bit longer to build that relationship and get like comfortable with him like that. So it was really like guys like Gavin Meyer, Nate Clifton, Devin Tompkins, Elijah Hughes, like guys in the room that just provided like a sort of home feeling. Just kind of building that brotherhood was what really got me through that freshman season. So I would say those guys were my mentors for real.
We got one from, it's Chrissy T. I've heard from a couple offensive linemen that you are one of the strongest players they have faced. On the flip side, who are some of the strongest offensive linemen you have gone up against at USC?
I don't know if I could say I'm the strongest, but some strong guys I went against was E-Man for sure. He was my welcome to college football moment. You know, he came from Wyoming. He's a big old dude. You know, he's physical, so he's probably the hardest O lineman I've ever gone against. Followed by Alani and even Elijah Vicona, the young freshman. You know, he's huge. You know, he's physical, he's strong, so he's pretty tough to go against every now and then. You know, so those guys have really stood out. Same with Elijah Page and all of them.
Jide, before I ask these next couple of questions, would you eat at Culver's a lot growing up in Minnesota? We have a couple Culver's questions.
Yeah, so actually, I went to Minnesota recently for about 3 weeks, and I DoorDash Culver's about like six, 7 times.
That's amazing. So I just went to a wedding in Utah, and we drove, and I actually had Culver's for the first time. I really enjoyed it. People want to know Culver's or In-N-Out, and what is your Culver's order when you get it?
In-N-Out's so overrated. I'm not gonna lie, it's so overrated. But my Culver's is the Butterburger Deluxe. I get that triple patty with a family size of onion rings, sometimes a side of fries or a side of cheese curds, and then I get a medium concrete mixer with Oreos and Reese's peanut butter cups.
Amazing. Those cheese curds are delicious. I had never had those before, but those are the real deal. We have a question here from an on-scout, bunch of numbers. With Aaron Donald, are those workouts, like, does Eric Henderson organize that when he comes around and you just get to pick his brain? How big of an impact has Aaron Donald had on you guys? How often is he around? People are dying to know about the Aaron Donald connection with Eric Henderson and what that means to you.
I mean, he's come to games and like practices and stuff like that, but I haven't really had the chance to talk to him too much. So sorry, they're hoping to hear that.
They love any kind of Aaron Donald references and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could probably ask, and he could hook some up. So I just haven't asked. So
Optimus Prime Rib. That's an interesting name. Optimus Prime Rib. I don't know if you're a Transformers fan. What pass rushing skills techniques have you learned from Coach Henney that you're excited to use in a game this year?
Honestly, just like the basic ones, like club rips, bull rushes. Like, I'm more of a power guy than like a finesse guy, so I kind of keep my moves basic, but with some plays built in, that's just how it's like more effective for me personally. So he's helped me with that for sure. Just me being able to strike better and me using my hands better. So excited to use that.
You mentioned striking and using your hands. This could be another dud question, but we'll see. NW Fan 76 wants to know, have you ever tried any wrestling or MMA workouts, and what were those like?
Like, are they talking like in college or just like throughout like high school, all that?
I think just ever in your life.
Just in general?
Yeah.
So I wrestled in high school for about 2 years, and I really enjoyed that, honestly, because I wanted to wrestle earlier. That's another sport I asked my mom to sign up for, and she said no. So, it's a little unfortunate I didn't get to start that till my sophomore year, but that really helped me out with football a lot. And I really enjoyed it because, Minnesota's a pretty good state for wrestling. So I met some pretty cool guys through that sport and got some cool connections. But, yeah, I love wrestling. I always watch it, the NCAAs, all that.
Wow. The fans are gonna love all the versatility you got there. You got a lot of different interests and stuff. It's great. It's great to see. I think. Oh, okay. From Fight On Jack 53. What are the best parts of transitioning from Minnesota to LA, and what have been the most difficult parts of the transition?
Honestly, there's always something to do in LA. That's the fun part. Minnesota, it's just like weekends. Maybe there's something going on, or like maybe there's a concert or something like that. There's not really a whole lot to do where I'm from, so that's been a fun aspect moving here. But Minnesota's just like it has that specific culture and specific atmosphere with the environment and all that stuff. So you come to the LA, it's just straight concrete everywhere. You don't see no fields for real or like rivers or lakes. Minnesota got a lot of lakes, so that's what I really miss when I come to LA and go back to Minnesota. Just the scenery.
Understandable. Some guys like this question, some guys don't, Jide. So if you just want me to ask another one, by all means. But fans, they're desperate to know who's going to be a breakout player in the fall. Guys who they might not know their names right now, but people who really impressed you in the spring. Are there any guys who you think a few months from now we'll be talking about who maybe we haven't been the past couple weeks?
Some guys that just like stand out to me off rip is probably some of the younger guys, honestly. Just the way they came in, just ready to play. It's just been surprising how quick some of them have adjusted to the system and how they've been playing.
You mentioned Elijah Vicona earlier. Any names?
Elijah definitely he's a good player. Desmond Stevens, Cam Fountain. I mean, everyone loves Cam, so you got to add him in there. Honestly, those are the guys that just stick out to the top of my list.
Whammoo 1975 wants to know about pregame rituals. Do you have any like music you listen to, food? Like what's your pregame ritual routine if you have one?
It really depends. Sometimes like I like chilling and talking to people, like depending on the game. Sometimes I just like, just having my headphones on and just listening to music, but there's not really a specific pregame ritual.
And then the last question we have here comes from Best Lakers Fan. It's a diet question. How many calories do you eat per day? Can you go through an average day of daily food consumption? And if you don't know the calorie number, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
if we working out,
that Culver's order sounded like had a lot of calories. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of calories. That really just depends. Like, if I'm back in Minnesota and it's like a Saturday night and I'm chilling at like my friend's house, yeah, I can probably like kill like 4,000 calories in the sitting. There's these days where I just like I don't stop eating. Like sometimes, like we'll just go to just random restaurants and random fast food places, just a lot throughout the day. So I'll be getting like big orders, and I'll probably eat like 8,000 in some days. So honestly, just on a daily basis, probably like 5,000
Okay.
plus.
Are there goals? Like, does the nutrition staff like tell you like, hey, this is what we want you to consume because you need to maintain or you need to gain or lose or whatever it is? Like, is there kind of instruction on that, or you have like free reign?
It's kind of just make a goal weight, Obviously the goal is to lose fat and gain muscle, but for me personally, it's just keep gaining weight, and they encourage meal plans if you need anything that you want to make your goals and anything you want to eat for real. So they'll get those set up, and then you'll take them home like every week, and that helps you get to your weight goal, but nothing in specific.
All right. Well, we've taken a lot of your time. We're gonna give you the applause.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I really do think the fans. I mean, these have been a lot of fun, and again, thanks to House of Victory. But just really an impressive young man. Thank you for doing this. I mean, they love the versatility. I think they played piano, and I would be a wrestler. Mom wouldn't let me do this. I mean, it's a great story to be like, yeah, I don't even watch college football because I didn't want to see this stuff, and to be able to come in and play at a big time college. I mean, it's just pretty impressive everything that you've been able to do. But we really appreciate you coming on. Thanks for your time. Can we give you a little? You can do a little fight on, sign out. We kind of do these. Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Is it like,
moving it. No, the other
true,
way.
I'll true.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah, we need the good screenshot.
Yeah.
And I got to shout out my buddy, former engineer friend of mine, Mark from Hughes Aircraft Company. Sometimes people would do that. They would put the fight on up, and then balloons would come up on the screen, and I never knew why. And I don't know. Are you on a Mac?
Nah. I know Apple has that feature where you do like
Yes.
the thumbs up.
So it would basically, if someone was on a Mac, they would do that, and then balloons would come up on their screen. I thought it was something that we were doing. So Mark told me that was what it was. So we figured it out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, but I figured you didn't have an Apple device there, so it was good. But Jide, thank you so much. Thanks again to House of Victory for setting this up. We really wish you the best of luck, and thanks again for everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Hope you guys all enjoyed the show. Jide Abasiri, everybody, and we will talk to you guys next time.